Everybody, drop your buffs.
Drop your buffs.
Everybody, drop your buffs.
Drop your buffs.
Everybody, drop your buffs.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Drop Your Buffs podcast, where we recap the strategy, social game, and stupidity of each Survivor episode. Today, we are joined by a last-minute guest because I told Dion that I needed more people in my life because of this quarantine.
Yes.
Kelly Wentworth holds the record for most votes nullified, but so does our guest, Sam Lechner. Welcome, Sam.
Oh my God, what an intro for me. I feel so honored to be.
You are awesome, and we're lucky to have you
such
here.
great company.
Oh
We
my
love Kelly. I love Kelly, so I think that's
Kelly's-
the biggest compliment that you can receive.
I agree. Kelly Wentworth is literally a legend. One of my personal idols.
It's not a compliment, it's a fact. Sam played Survival Challenge last season. She got ninth place, and she also nullified 9 votes during one tribal council, and it was epic.
Okay, so let
Unfortunately,
me
my
just put
single vote didn't send someone home, though.
I know.
It's fine.
Okay, you were such an incredible player in the last season. You were definitely, towards the end, everybody's like, who's your favorite? I'm like, well, I don't know how good her chances are, but I love Sam. And, you had that idol. You told me, because I was one of your carers. I was helping look after your tribe, and you walked off with me, and you're like, so Austin gave me an idol. And I was like, oh, what is happening? How did he give you an idol? He's on another tribe. It was this whole thing. It was incredible. And you were just so entertaining, so invested. You made some great moves. And if Survival Challenge ever had an All-Stars cast, I'd definitely be submitting you as somebody who needs to come back. So
That
well
is
done.
all I need to hear. Catch
you'll
me
be
on
playing-
All Stars.
I was going to say, you'll be playing with myself and Hannah. So,
Yeah, naturally, right?
Except
gonna
I'm
say,
on
but
the
let's not
villains
start-
tribe.
Yeah, right. Let's not start a poker alliance, though. Let's
No,
not
it's
do that.
no one hears
Okay.
it.
No. But yes, thank you so much for being here. We're so excited to have you. As you can already tell, we're
I'm
very
so
excited.
happy to be here. I freaking love you guys. It's gonna be a blast.
We're like, we
Oh.
need human interaction. This is the best part of my
Yes.
day.
I know. I'm actually getting some sun today. I was like, is it too bright? And then I was like, I don't care. I just
I
need some
need
sunlight on
light.
me right now.
So when we have a special guest, Sam, we do something called rapid fire questions just to get to know you more. So everybody
hell
listening
yeah.
can get to know you more. So I've
it.
prepared some questions for you.
I'm very excited.
So let's jump into them. Sam, when did you get into Survivor? What's your Survivor story?
I have watched Survivor since the very beginning.
Woohoo.
I watched it with my family growing up for the first however many seasons. I had a phase where I didn't really watch it in early college, high
Same.
school. I'm familiar with all of what happens and everything just because I've caught up in latter years. And I just didn't really, I really was just busy with drinking in college, so I did that.
Sure. Priorities.
But yeah, now I'm heavy back into it. And then
So you were going to say heavily drinking. And I was like,
and I'm a
we
heavy
all?
alcoholic. And no, I'm heavy into it now. And I've auditioned probably 7 times or so to be on the actual show.
Keep it up. Keep it up. We'd love to see you.
Speaking of college, do you want to talk briefly about your fun Survivor
Oh my
college
God,
situation,
yes.
which we will have someone that I'm sure Sam's going to bring up in the next minute. We're going to have Greg, hopefully on next episode as a special guest,
Fingers crossed.
to talk about the merge. So before we do that, though, Sam, tell us about your little fun college Survivor thing.
Yeah, I feel like I don't want to steal Greg's thunder when he
I
comes
know.
on next week because he'll be mad at me for it. But
No, steal it.
Greg-
Just go for it.
Greg officially started it. I will give him all the credit, but I was his vice president when we started a Survivor Time and Change student organization on Ohio State's campus. We basically brought in Ohio State students to play Survivor, for a campus-wide, semester-long version of the game. And a funny story is I actually thought Greg was going to ask me out when he asked me to start playing this game with him. So this is a funny, and he wouldn't have brought up this part of the story, so this will be my tea.
Yes.
So Greg and I met when we were orientation leaders in college, and we were friends then, acquaintances, but we weren't really super close. And he just knew I loved Survivor.
Okay.
And so when he came up with this idea, he actually texted me. He was like, I have to ask you something. It's like this really big thing, blah, blah, blah. And he made such a big deal. I was like, oh,
No, he didn't
oh
tell
my
you
God.
what it was. He just said, I need to talk to you
No.
about
Yes.
something. It's a really big
That's
thing.
so Greg.
I was like, is Greg about to express his undying love for me? Like, is he gonna ask me out? And then I was like so worried. He was like, do you want to like start a Survivor game with me? And I was like, oh my God, you want me to play? Of course. And he was like, no, I want you to help me with it. And I was like, And then I was like, okay,
but
fine.
can
I'll
I
do it.
play it?
And I was like, can I play though? And he was like, I'll
Yeah.
let you play like in a latter season, but not this first one. I need you to help me get it off the ground. And so then I ended up helping him get it off the ground. And then by the time it was time for me to play, we just ended up vetoing the idea, and I just kept helping because it was really fun. My dog's about to come sit on my lap.
Hello, Ruthie.
We
Rude.
love puppies. Oh my goodness.
She's
Big
not
dog.
a lap dog. She's not.
But she
But-
will be
Yeah.
part of this.
She wants to be. And so then I did play technically one season of it. It wasn't filmed though, like the rest of them are. It
Okay.
was like a retreat for the cast, or not the crew and executive board, as it were.
Uh-huh.
And I went to the final two
Uh-huh.
with my number one ally. I won the final 3 comp, and I fucking lost to him by 1 vote. So
No.
that was really, really sad. I was, hey, you don't eat those.
Well, you sat there at the end, and we love our final 2 people in Survival
Yeah.
Challenge. We had 2 of them last time, so kudos for
Yeah.
making it to final 2.
But it was fun.
We always
And it
say
was-
that's winning.
Yeah. The whole thing it was just a blast. I made such like some of my best friends doing that with Greg. So I'm very thankful to him for that whole experience, because it was a ton of fun. And the org is just like still going. They're on like season
Still
8
going.
right now. It's wild.
Okay,
Yeah.
did they
Wow.
have something filming when Ohio State's campus closed? Did they have a game
Yeah.
going?
Yeah.
Okay,
they're
so what did
currently
they?
filming at Final 7 right now is where they're at.
So
So
did,
they've paused the game.
I think I'm pretty sure they're doing it all virtually now, like over like Skype messages and
Oh.
stuff. I don't really know how the challenges are going. I'm not involved with it at all anymore.
Right.
I
Wait. So a live reality game has turned
into an
org.
online reality
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
that's incredible.
Isn't that
We're
wild?
geeking out so hard right now.
Because Dion and Sam are both orgers.
Yeah.
That's what it's called.
I haven't played in a while, but I know you're playing some games right now.
I'm currently very deep into the org community, and I hate myself for it. But I'm not doing anything else at home, so like I might as well.
No.
It's a ton of fun.
Well-
I've met a lot of cool people.
Thank you for explaining the Ohio game to me, because I've heard
Totally.
about it, but I don't know too much about it. But I'm going to swing it back to the rapid fire.
Yeah, okay.
questions.
Let's do,
Go!
it's okay. We got like really hung up over the
Yeah.
college game.
I
Okay.
talk so much about everything. Cut me off at any
No,
time.
no, it's okay. I
No.
totally forgot that this was supposed to be technically rapid fire, but it was just like a
No.
slow burning fire.
That's cool. We took a hiatus, and now we're back.
Okay, so just 3 more questions. First question, are you a casual fan, super fan, or super duper fan?
I'm a super fan. I wish I was a super duper fan, but I can't. I just
Not
have
yet.
a horrible memory. No.
You'll
I like-
evolve one day.
People are like, who won season 18? And I'm like, what the fuck was season 18? Like, I don't
Contains
know.
it was JT.
See,
Yeah,
look,
I know
that's
that
why
too.
Dion is super duper fan. Okay, what is your favorite season, and who is your favorite player?
Oh, these hurt
Ooh.
me. Luckily, I already
think.
know them. I don't have to think. Heroes versus villains. I'm a stan. I'm a die-hard Heroes versus villains
Yeah.
stan. You
Mhm.
can't. It's just legends. It's just legends. And I
Every
loved it.
episode was
So
epic.
that's easily my favorite season. Exactly. And then my favorite player of all time is.
Oh man!
All right.
The anticipation.
So here's the thing. I know that this is like oh my god, do they even want Survivor take? But Parvati's a fucking queen legend of this game, and I refuse to believe otherwise. She is my
Oh.
everything. So
Wow.
I would say Par's my favorite player, although Tyson and Malcolm are coming in as close seconds. I
Oh,
love
those-
Oh,
both
yeah.
of them so
Yep.
much.
So you like your boys with long hair?
You get it.
The
You
funny
get it,
ones,
yeah.
the funny boys.
Mhm.
The funny ones with long hair are my tea. That's who I'd showmance when I got on the island. So
Oh, okay.
Love it.
Heads up, boys.
So that's the end of my rapid fire questions. So like, but speaking of good job.
Thank you, thank
Parvati,
you.
how do you feel about Parvati showing on this season?
honestly, I think she played a great game for the hand that she was dealt.
Yeah.
Like she knew she was coming in with one of the biggest targets on her back. There was only so much that that woman could do in this game. And I think she played her social game like as good as she always has and as good as she could in the situation that she was in, especially getting swap fucks like that with the 3 strong guys and Michelle.
Mhm.
Like there's just, when you have that target on your back, like she tried to play to like Nick having a freaking crush on her,
Yeah.
Yule's wife loving her. Like she tried to play to those things. And not to mention, even on her start tribe, like she was Rob's number 1 ally. She was Danny's number 1 ally at one point. She was Ethan's number 1 ally. Like she had the entire old school crew in her pocket. And like, she was the most protected out of all of them. So I just think like, if you look at the intricacies of the game, like she played it literally the best way she could have. I stand her to the ends of earth. And the fact that she even made it to like the 7th tribal council without getting voted out was freaking iconic. So
I will say that I have a much bigger respect for Parvati in the game after watching her play this season, because a lot of the times that I've watched her in the past, I said this in one of the last podcasts, there was always somebody else that I liked better. You know, in Micronesia, I like Sari better. In Heroes versus Villains, I like Sandra better. So like each time, I mean, Cook Islands, I mean, it was very early days. She was very much playing the flirt, and that's how she was edited. The flirt. Right. So this for me was the season that I needed to see her play her social game, knowing what I know and being all of these years down the track, you know, being 30 versus being 15. I don't know how old I was the first time I watched her, you know.
So, even she was 15, and I was like, I think that's off slightly.
No, that was me. That's how old I was. Yeah. But yeah, no, mad respect for Parvati this season. And kind of, I just thought it was funny. Shall we get into the episode?
Yeah, I mean, the episode starts out with Parv talking on the edge. So that works well.
I just think it was funny, like when she got to the edge, she was just she's very chill. She's very like just talkable. Like, and in the sense that like, she'll say something, and if somebody says like something or says something weird, she'll kind of be like, why are you being weird? Like she's gonna call it as she sees it.
She called out Wendell last episode so well.
Exactly. And I very much appreciate that.
That tribal destroys my soul. But it's fine. You guys already reviewed that. We won't talk about it.
And you'll reamed Wendell out for it. Not reamed him out, but was like, dude, that wasn't great. That kind of sucked.
How do we feel about that? Because we did get an edit from Yule this episode, which kind of came off as a little bit like, I might know a little bit better than you guys. But what was really interesting is that he didn't get treated that way by his tribe. They talked about it behind his back, where Wendell was willing to say it to Michelle's face, like, thanks for telling me like you think you know better than me.
Yeah. I mean, I think Yule is just like the stereotype of like a logical dude, you know, like Yule is just like, here's the black and white, like here's how, and he just like lays it out as it is. So I feel like it was Yule's attempt at like being honest and like trying to be like open and have like a good dialogue with his like ally. So to me, it seemed like Yule was trying to be like, hey, like, I just want to get behind your psyche of like why you did that. It just felt like, but honestly, I don't think he should have, because then I think it tipped Wendell off.
It clearly didn't work because, well, like Wendell in the moment to his face is like, dude, thank you so much for being honest. I'm honest in my life. This is great. But the second that they hit the beach after immunity challenge, Wendell says to Michelle, Yule's going to vote me out. Yule's coming for me. Like he knows. And he knew because of that conversation with Yule, he knew that Yule wasn't happy with him. And he knew that Yule wanted him out. Like, boom, like that. So Yule was not keeping him comfortable, was not keeping him close.
But Yule was keeping Michelle comfortable.
Yep. They all wanted Michelle. That's why Michelle wasn't on the ballot. They all wanted Michelle.
We love that. We love Michelle. She's getting a winner's edit right now, and I need it to stay that way. I love her.
I honestly feel like the ladies on each tribe are getting the winner's edit right now. With potentially the exception of Sarah, I'm not necessarily getting the winner's edit that I got from her the first time around, but definitely like even Kim's getting a bit of a winner's edit this time, because we ended up at the Dekal tribe and they were just having fun. We're seeing Tony running,
Whatever,
Kim
down
telling
the
him
beach.
like he's a blur. That was the first time that I've had like that moment where I was like, oh, I could chill with Kim. Like Kim's fun.
Yeah, Jeremy was so fun too. Like, don't you just want to like laugh with Jeremy? He's so fun.
I am obsessed with Jeremy. He is on like at least, I made so many fantasy drafts for this season. He's on like probably 90% of mine. Like I
Really
love that man. I love Jeremy so much.
I've got to send you a Photoshop that Bryce made later. Remind me.
Okay, I would love to see it.
For
I would love
those
to
who
see
know,
it.
know.
Oh god.
But no, I just feel like Jeremy, I see, okay, maybe it's because like in him and Natalie's relationship, I see a lot of how I play the game. Like I find a ride or die and I pick that person and I stick with them until the end. Like I will never flip on them. I will tell them everything. And I feel like that's how he plays, you know, like he plays with a ride or die.
He's
and that's
not
how
going to
Natalie
turn on
plays.
who he's with.
And he's exactly. And so like, that's why I just love Jeremy. You just know he's a good dude and like all aspects of the word. He's just a good guy. And I just am rooting. He's like one of the only men this season that I genuinely want to win the game because there are so many good women on this season that like,
yeah,
I need
absolutely.
them to win,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, the funny thing is that Tony is also getting a good vibe from Jeremy, but then Jeremy flips it around and says Tony's the biggest threat out here and I need him gone.
He's not
Yeah.
So
falling
he's
for it.
even like wooing Tony at this point.
No pun intended.
Oh,
gosh,
no.
no.
Oh, that one hurt.
I hate that happened.
I love
hate
it.
that
You
happened.
did that. You
I
really
love
did
it so
that.
much.
But can we
But in
also
saying,
just sidebar
Sorry,
on
go
the
ahead.
fact that this is a random comment and then we can go back to Jeremy. Kim always looks like she's on a tropical vacation this
Oh, she
season
does.
with the hat and the like Hawaiian floral shirt and her denim shorts.
I know.
What did they send her out there in? She
I
literally looks
know.
like she's like sitting on the beach. sipping
Island
Mai
hot?
Tai.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. I was just like, what
I
is
feel
this?
like she's like soccer mom on vacation,
Oh, God,
but
yeah.
still making sure that everything's okay. You know, the moms that
There's a
don't
full
actually
backstory.
lay down, the ones that are constantly knowing where everything is. Yep, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. And they get
Yeah.
back from the vacation and that's when they relax. Like
Yes.
after the trip.
I can see that. Anyways,
Yeah.
back to Jeremy.
Well, okay, sorry. I have a garbage truck going by. I just wanted to make sure that we can get that noise out of the way. So with the Decal tribe, now we're seeing Kim in a very powerful position where
When-
she's kind
Oh,
of in
yeah.
the middle.
When Kim had that confessional, because last episode we talked about who we are most excited to see come up on our screen during this season. Like what winner, when they come up on the screen for their confessional, you get excited about. For me, it's Kim.
Sorry,
Okay,
I just got the
no,
moms for my game.
So Sam is in an org right now, and she was on standby on her phone to find out if she would get nominated to get voted out. Sam, did you get
Jamal.
nom?
I did not.
Woo, she's saying
But the tea is that one of my really close allies did, and the person that is like my survivor enemy did too.
That's gonna be easy for you.
But I honestly, I'm like, I'm not mad about it.
Let's just make sure this round is done before we put this episode up in case any of them actually listen.
Oh no! Listen. She knows. She knows that we're. I tried to blindside her early in this game, got the votes for it, and then she played an idol and saved herself.
No!
Yeah,
And
I
that's-
literally, and she was just like, "Are you kidding me? Like you always." And because at the beginning of the round, I told her I wanted to work with her, and so I was like, "Oh yeah, like I'm totally." And I was being honest too, because we had a bad history. I was like, "No, we should work together this game. We have mutuals. Like, let's do this." And then she tried to take out my number one ally. So I was like, "Bitch, I'm not fucking staying with
And
you.
we
I'm flipping
learned-
this vote on you right now." And
When
I
you go to
did.
Boston Rob and tell him that you're going to take out his number one ally,
Then
that's
he
what
flips the
happens. You
fucking
get
script. You get got, and that's what I did. But then she played an idol and took out my number one ally. Anyways, so I'm sad. But
So is this through Skype? Like, are you guys face to face on like virtual, like in this virtual
Oh, it's
world? This is so
Skype.
perfect.
Yeah,
Or like, is
it's
it just
Skype.
through text? Or like, do you?
I barely call anyone though. Like sometimes like the whole group, we have like one giant group chat of everyone in the game.
It's a
and
chat.
that one's like
Wow.
going constantly. And I like check in every once in a while and like say things just to be relevant so people know who I am.
Sure. Yeah.
What a weird world.
Yeah.
org
But like I
world.
don't ever like actually like message people or like video message
Mhm.
people. Like in
Okay.
this game. I do in normal orgs, like when
Okay.
they're smaller, because that's how you like build better relationships with people. But in this game, it's like not even worth it. Like
I
I could
love
get
it.
voted out tomorrow and I wouldn't care.
And like, these are from people all over the world, right? Or all
Yeah.
over the country.
Yeah.
This is
My last org that I played, there was someone from Australia, someone from New Zealand, a few from Canada, and then from the US. And some people in this game are also, I think there was a guy in Ireland. There's someone in Germany
Interesting.
right now.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're just everywhere. It's really fun.
2020. That's
Woo.
amazing. Okay, so back to Kim.
Anyways,
Kim
actual
Spradlin.
Survivor. Yeah.
Another
Yes.
queen, Kim Spradlin.
We
So
love that.
I get so excited when she gets on the screen, and when Kim Spradlin said, "I love that I have options," I just was like, praise hands, like,
For like the
Yes.
first time in the game.
oh, I know. So I cannot wait to see what Kim does in the merge. I am looking forward to how she's going to navigate and who she's going to go with, and I need her to survive.
I
okay.
really want to see Kim do well because she hasn't had to play from the bottom, like she did. Like the beginning of this game was
Yeah.
the first time she's ever been in that spot. She
Right.
just like steamrolled
Right.
her whole season. So I'm excited to see what she does.
Yeah, absolutely. And something that happened was she had a one-on-one with Jeremy, and she said, I'm worried because if we don't solidify something before the merge, I'm worried it's going to tear us apart and we're going to not be in a great spot. But
Yeah.
from seeing the tribes from an audience's perspective, they're probably the tightest group.
tightest.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And I'm so happy about that. I am so happy about that.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
think
And then
that-
we see her talk to Denise as well. And the interesting thing about her talking to Denise is that they are trying to solidify a final two.
Mhm.
It's not even just like, let's work together as a group. It's like, let's go to the end together. And I
Kim-
think that's really interesting.
Yeah.
'Cause they're
Kim said,
seasons
like-
24 and 25. Like
Yeah.
they're back-to-back seasons.
They probably met before, have hung out before,
Mhm.
probably. And I love how Kim was like, so who do you want to go to the end with? And of course, Denise is going to say, you.
well, of course you, but like, are you talking who else? Like that was so funny.
And Denise,
But it was
she's so convincing. Denise, I mean, I don't know if she was telling the
I-
truth or if she was lying, but she's great.
I would
Mhm.
die for Denise. I would literally die for Denise. I love her so much.
She's the best.
She was my winner pick in every bracket I did, everything I did.
Mhm.
Denise is
Really?
winning
She's my
this
winner pick as well.
game. I've said
Yeah.
it preseason, literally month before the season started. I was like, Denise is winning the game. That's it. Like that's the team.
But I was so worried when Sandra left saying, get Denise for me. And I was like,
Yeah.
will they though? But
I don't know. Jeremy doesn't seem convinced that she's
No,
like
but
this
they-
big threat now.
no. And
Which is
that's what I
awesome.
found really fascinating because he's working with her. And from the edit we're seeing, she's the one that's, well, he was working with Michelle as well, which, jump to next week. They're merging. And now
Yeah.
Michelle's going to be back with Jeremy. Does Jeremy have Denise now? Like, are we going to get are we going to get all the girls working together? Like, because I said Kim has the potential to bring in work with Denise, and Sarah has the potential of working with Sophie. Sophie can bring in Kim because of the idols, and then it's like Denise has Jeremy has Michelle. Are we going to see all of our favorite people working together?
In
Because
one
all of these
giant alliance.
boys, I mean, yeah, it's kind of crazy. But then we end up, let's quickly go to the Yara tribe and just
Peanut
Idol
butter
talk.
jelly time. Peanut butter jelly time. Where you at? Where you at? I loved it. I
And
love Ben so much.
at-
Everybody knows it. I love Ben. People are hating Ben. I love him. I need more
I
Ben.
think
in my
Oh,
that
life.
look.
is some nice comic relief this season. I will
Yeah.
give him that. He's
Yeah.
making me laugh. I like him a lot more than I did in the first go around. Like I think he's
Yes.
he's fun.
Yes.
Contrastingly, I absolutely detest Adam and I need him out of this
No.
freaking game. I can't stand him this season.
Which is-
I need him gone.
It's really funny though, because I think I relate to Adam more this season than I think I ever have before.
I know, that is
because
really-
I'm sitting here, like listening to him, everything he's saying, I'm like, I get it. Ben's
Yeah.
so freaking frustrating right now. I get it. They clearly have an idol. I'm not an idiot. Like, I get it.
Dion
The
would
thing
be
is-
Adam on that island.
Oh, absolutely. But I probably wouldn't like sit there with an angry face the whole
Yeah.
time. Like
he just
Adam
looks so
does.
mad all the time.
You're like- and they probably just want him to play. They're like, hey, come and play. And he's like, no, I'm angry. And you're like, come on, Adam. Come on. So I understand completely where he's coming from, but I also
Yeah.
need him to just, I need those little glimpses of that we get of him after the challenges of like, I just came through. Like, I need him to bring that to his tribe.
Okay, so here's the thing I have about Adam. Okay, Adam has been getting, he's been getting the complaining, annoying little brother kind of edit. But like
Oh, yeah.
Dion said, we've also had those little glimpses of like him overcoming stuff. And we've also gotten this crazy bad edit of Wendell.
Oh God, yeah.
Of the, I don't even want to talk about the bad, but he's been getting an awful edit. So thinking about the future and going into the merge, who would you rather see a redemptive edit of, a redemptive story, the redemption of Wendell or the redemption of Adam? Who do you want to see redeem themselves more?
Adam.
You want to see
Wendell.
Adam?
Hands
And
down.
Sam said
Wendell.
Did you?
I listen, Wendell and Dom and Ghost Island, I was like so here for it. And I just like, I loved Wendell his first season.
Yes.
And like
Really?
Adam was like fine and he was cool and like it was great.
I
like,
didn't even
okay,
like
you won.
Adam his first season.
I know, exactly. That's the thing. It's like Adam was like fine. But like I just love Wendell and like I know it hurts me in my soul to see him get this edit when obviously him and Michelle are like fine.
Yeah.
Like they're obviously fine and they're just trying to add the they were exes drama for the edit. Like that's so clear at this point because obviously Michelle trusts the devil that she can see rather than what she can't with Yul, right? Like she knows Wendell. They're close. Like stop pretending they aren't tight when they obviously are. She's keeping him in this game and respect to her. Like good, you should. If you know this man and you can control him and his crazy, then do it. Mad respect, Michelle. But like I'm just and like also, oh my God, like the challenge when he was like, Jeff, we're almost done. Jeff, we're almost done. He's not bragging. The man lost a challenge on his season.
Exactly.
Because he didn't say he was done in time.
Mm-hmm.
He knew it was close. He was making sure the same mistake didn't happen again. He doesn't deserve the shit that he's getting for it. It's ridiculous.
I know.
I disagree, but that's just me.
All right, Dion.
No, Dion, still right now.
Spill, it's like he didn't say, no, he needs to know that we're about to finish. He said, I need his attention. Like, his
he
way
didn't
of
have
talking
Jeff's
to
attention
people.
the first time.
Yeah, but there's also, 13 other people there that deserve Jeff's attention? Like, do you know what I mean?
Oh
it's
my
like,
God.
like, who are you? Like, get over yourself. Like, I think he needs to get over himself. That's all I'm saying.
I think that there was more
Right.
trash
So how
talking.
did you not read that as cockiness versus but he was being strategic because if he didn't finish
I think it was
Jeff
both.
in scene time.
Listen, Dion, you're talking to the most egotistical person you could ever have on the show.
Yeah, you really are.
I literally live and die for myself. I'm amazing. I would have done the same shit. Like you can't tell me. You can't say it to me. You could say it to probably anybody else and they'd agree with you, but you can't say it to me. I respect a confident man, and Wendell's a confident man, and also I don't blame him for saying it. I'm team Wendell.
I think that there was more trash talking that was edited out. Like the fact that Nick and Yul were so pissed of the trash talking,
probably true.
which what we saw was not trash talking, or unless they took it that way. But
I mean, for us, what we saw is him saying that he needed Jeff's attention when he still had 5 or 6 pieces to put on the puzzle.
There
He
were
wasn't
like
down to his last
Dion.
piece.
There were like 3.
He said,
run the tape.
Cal is down to 6. They are down to 5 pieces. Run the tapes, run the receipts. I got you.
So I watched Survival Challenge South Africa that Wendell played. And I was thinking back to like when I watched the videos, their Facebook videos of it. And I was like, was Wendell trash talking in South Africa game? And I was like, oh yeah, he was trash talking Bryce Isaiah when they were on, but they're best friends. But it was also, he was like just trash talking Bryce while they were like in the middle of, that maze with the snake where you're pulling the ball up the snake.
Yeah, I do.
You're balancing, which is, spoiler alert, the next challenge for the Edge returning Edge.
Is it? How do you know that?
I paused the next week on Survivor. I paused it and I looked at the whole challenge and there was only 8 slots. So that's 8 people returning on the Edge. So it wasn't individual immunity. It was the Edge challenge because there would have been 11 slots if it was individual immunity. Oh my gosh, your guys' faces. You guys are so shocked.
We love a detective.
Wow. Okay, so and so I totally wrote down what the challenge is going to be. Do you guys want me to tell you what it is?
That's what it was last time, wasn't it? That was the last Edge challenge.
Yeah, where you got the 2 rows.
That's how Devin got back in.
Oh, Devin? No, or was...
And Wendy was like that close.
Yeah. Oh, and she was doing, So, so it's, you like start, you have like you start on a platform, you have to balance over some ropes. And I believe the next station which I think this was in, no, it wasn't. But they dig up sticks. They have to tie sticks together.
That's
get a
literally
key
the
off
exact
of,
same challenge.
yeah, it's the exact same challenge. So that's what they're doing next week.
Wow.
Sorry if I
I'm
spoiled it.
Interesting.
so
for you.
excited. No, I'm so
I
excited.
wonder
I
if
love that
anybody's
challenge.
going to get the advantage of, remember how
Aubrey did?
somebody had an advantage, like an extra ball was already done or something like that?
Oh,
Aubrey got to
yeah.
practice beforehand. And
Mhm.
all of them, I bet you any money, because they have the fire tokens. They can use the fire tokens for
Rob
the
has
different
enough
challenge.
fire tokens. Natalie
here's
has
the
enough
thing.
fire tokens.
Let's jump over to the edge of extinction.
We have to
then.
do it. Yeah, we have to.
We're there. We're ready.
We're
Now,
too
something
excited.
something I mentioned at the very start of the edge was that Natalie got sent to the edge, and then Amber was next in after her. Both of them had competed in the Amazing Race. What
Mhm.
I failed to mention, which I just realized, is Danny was next, and then Ethan was next. Ethan has also competed in the Amazing
Yep,
Race
he has.
with another
Ethan
former
too.
winner from Survivor.
Jenna.
Now, Boston Rob is out there as well. So four of them. So like half of the people on the edge of extinction have participated in the Amazing Race. So like they like that log challenge for the first four of them. They've done stuff like that, like
Yeah.
out in the middle of nowhere in different countries. Like it's not like they've never done anything like that. They've just never done it on Survivor when they're like,
When they're
by
starved.
themselves. Right, exactly. So it's a completely different spin. But again, it can be a way for people to actually like embrace each other a little bit more. Like, yes, they've all played Survivor, but some people have played an extra level of a reality game, you know? So I just
I
thought
have
that was very interesting.
I have a random like connection. I had a thought that I wanted to bring up, and it kind of relates to what Dion just shared about the Amazing Race. So last summer, I kind of played an Amazing Race here in Dayton called Dash for Cash,
Oh,
and
you
I,
did.
yeah, and I
That
ended
was
up
so
winning.
fun.
No big deal. I just tried to whip my hair, and it went
Your
well.
headphone
Your
came
phone,
out.
that was cute.
Yeah, you know, I'm really, really smooth and classy. So, the reason I bring that up is because when Ethan brings all the clues for everybody, grab one scroll each, you must open it together. You know, they do the countdown, 3, 2, 1. They open it and they all read it. And then someone decides, I think Boston Rob decided to like start sprinting
Run.
first. Okay.
And Natalie was right there with him.
Right. So when I played Dash for Cash, there was a scavenger hunt challenge we had to do where they handed us each an envelope, and we knew that we were going to have to go find different stuff in this graveyard. Good times. And so the reason why I bring this up is because my partner and I came up with the strategy that when they say 3, 2, 1, open, everybody else is going to open it and read and decide where to go. As soon as they do 3, 2, 1, we just sprint and we're opening it and reading it as we're sprinting. And and it's funny in the video like that all the other teams were like, wait, what? Like we threw them all off because we just start running. And then my partner was like, okay, we need to go to this first. And so while we're running, we know which direction to go. Because anyway, so like I would have loved to see someone like, you know, must open
Run.
together. As soon as they open it, then there's someone just starts running.
Well, we did have that amazing moment of Parvati being like, are we going to take the rice off the fire? Like, everyone is gone.
Nope.
And like she's running and either she turns back to someone or she turns back to the camera crew. Like, I'm not actually sure who she's talking to when she's like, did you know that this was going to happen? Like,
Oh, she said that?
yeah, she's like, did you think that this was going to happen? Like, it was
Wow.
like pandemonium.
Wow.
Like
That's
everybody
so
was just
funny.
gone. And I'm just shocked. Okay, let's quickly talk about Tyson because Tyson gets this edit.
He's amazing.
He's so
Yes.
amazing. You can't.
And
tell
he
me
thinks
that.
so too.
I know. That's why I love him. You get it.
That was a very Dion moment. Like when I'm just having like that dead straight moment when I was like, you know, these things are happening and I'm very talented. And blah, blah, blah.
And I found it because I'm amazing.
Because
That
I'm
was
amazing. I'm
so
incredible.
funny.
And that was one of those moments that I just went, oh, I like Tyson. Like he and I, where we can vibe, we can
Yes.
gel. I love that this season I'm getting so much more redeeming like moments from all of these people that I'm just kind of like,
Yeah.
no, I could sit, like you could drop me into the camp and I could talk to every single one of these people. Like it's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah.
But
Jason is such a
so he
good
has his
player.
moment. He thinks that he's incredible for finding one token.
Mhm.
And then everybody's like strip searching each other. We see, Boston Rob get down to his red jocks and
His
you
man
know,
panties.
his man panties.
Okay, there's one thing we've learned is that strip searching does not work in Survivor. We've seen so many people with idols
Kelly with
shoved
the
up
idol in her bun
wherever,
last
like
season.
in their
Like,
hair.
Yeah.
If they're
I
gonna
thought you
take
were
their
gonna say
clothes off, you're
somewhere
still not gonna
else.
like if you're gonna do a strip search, like you're gonna
Yeah.
have to real
You're
search.
gonna have to like all the way. Like
Yeah.
everyone gets completely nude.
It's
on the
not
beach.
gonna
That's the
work.
only
It's
way.
not gonna work. Like
No.
Kim Spradlin had her idol in her underwear when she had barely much else on when
Yeah.
she found it. Anyway, it's
Ew,
just like
those
strip
idols
search
do so many things that they should
has
not.
been so many
And
places.
Jeff's just like
This
holding it
is
up.
a hidden immunity idol. He takes a glove.
Right. Yeah, right now that's real life.
So
he's
yeah.
wearing
So can
gloves
we
every
stop
time
the
you
strip
grab something.
searching? Strip searching does not work.
Does not work.
But you know what does work?
What?
Running ahead of everybody and getting to each location
Going to the end of
first
the
and finding
pathways.
3 of 4 tokens.
That
What?
flashback. Wow.
Now
Wow.
that's my drop your buff moment.
Uh-huh.
How do you manage not only to get to the places first, but not have anybody realize that you got to those places first and found the tokens? Because
Yeah.
Tyson says we're all under the impression that I was the only one to find one and nobody else found one. I was like, how can that be
How did he beat
your
Natalie?
end result?
How did Natalie
Natalie's a
not get there first?
tank.
I know.
And Rob's like not a tank.
He's a
Not.
Portland
So that's
cat. Not a tank. He's an untamed.
like
No.
that one.
He
yeah,
is
that
a
one really
beast.
surprised me.
But he ain't no tank. But to be fair, if Boston Rob, like if we were to switch the people on the edge with the people in the game still, would like Ben have done really well finding those
Oh, yeah.
tokens?
No.
Would Yul have done really well finding those tokens? Like,
I think part of it
Wendell-
depends on how long they have been on the edge. I think that Parvati and if Sandra had stayed would have been like it's such a disadvantage. They don't know the island. They don't know where the pathways end. Like Rob
Right.
has been around and has done other challenges and gone up the hill
Sure.
a million times to get rice and whatever.
Yeah, I
So,
guess he said that he has been running the trail, so maybe he's been studying those.
yeah, those people know the
But
island a
you'd,
million times
you would
better.
at least keep up with him though, if you were like, I guess, a little more physically, up to the challenge.
Mhm.
So I'm just wondering if he did as well because it was him or because of the people he was running from.
Yeah,
From.
I don't know.
Did you guys enjoy this token search? Well, I found it really entertaining. Like the part where Boston Rob does the flashback and says, "So first I found it right here, and then I went over there
Yeah.
and Ethan." Like I was like glued to my screen, and I'm not even
I liked it.
that big of a Boston Rob fan, but I really enjoyed it.
I will say that I think it was designed to help one person
Oh,
get
yeah.
multiple coins so that more than one person could be getting an advantage to get back into the game, or
Mm.
that more than one person can be using their tokens when it comes to time to use them. And my whole thing is I probably would have preferred for them to be at like different ends of the island. So like people just have to scatter.
Yeah.
So it's like, do you go left or do you go right? Who do you follow? Do you follow the people that you think you've got a better
Mhm.
chance against? Do you follow someone to make sure that they don't get it? And then
Whereas
that
Boston
way,
Rob got 3 in one swoop.
right.
Yeah.
And so for me, it's like, why would you put them all in the same area? Like literally like spitting distance from each other.
Well, like what you
also-
said, production wanted someone to get it. They want someone to
Yeah.
get an advantage.
Yeah. I also was slightly disappointed they were so easy to find. I feel like
I
with
know.
like
Yeah.
the idols are like, so hidden. And then it was just like laying on the rock. Like
It was like
if you're gonna
Mario.
give out
Boop, boop.
exactly. If you're gonna give out that many fire tokens, at least like put them in a tree or some shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It just seemed that was a little disappointing for me. But
I feel like the intention with them all running off was really exciting, but the outcome was less exciting for me.
Mhm.
I think it's incredible what one person was able to achieve, but I think it was underwhelming as a whole for what's going to happen because, Tyson got his second token. We already saw him use one, so we
He's
know
saving
that
the
he's
other
not going to be
one.
getting
What's he
an
gonna do with the other
advantage.
one?
I think he's saving it for an advantage in the challenge. You only need
Probably
one
gonna
for an
get-
advantage in the challenge.
Oh, I thought you needed 3.
One?
You need 3. No, you need 1 for an advantage in the challenge to get back in the game. You need 3 for an idol.
Oh,
I think he's gonna get jelly to go with his peanut butter.
I love it. So speaking of the Edge, how are your feelings on Sandra quitting? I totally predicted it. I knew she was going to be leaving this episode. What are your thoughts?
I'm sad because I love Sandra, and it's sad because you see her logic, you understand her perspective. You also don't want to be that person of like, oh, but you're given this opportunity to live on the edge and have a chance. Like, yeah, but it's a grueling experience. We have to remember that. And she's already won twice. Like, does she have anything to prove? So I don't know. Maybe this is her like going out with her head held high.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. I really am at that dichotomy of like, I'm totally cool with it. I get it. But I also just personally value what, Ethan is doing out there, where he is pushing himself. He wants to leave. He's depressed, but he's trying to find hope in anything. And that's what I love about Survivor. I love the whole pushing yourself to the extreme. How far can you go? Like I personally love that. And I personally love seeing how far I can push myself. And so I'm like, Sandra, you could just be a survivor. You could go for it. So I have that balance of like, I respect her. I'm not upset with her at all. I totally get her reasons, but it's also, it's a quit, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I miss her on my TV
screen. I love the Edge of Extinction for this season and what we're seeing, the content. Like part of me wishes that RuPaul's Drag Race has an hour-long episode, and then they get like a 30-minute episode after the hour-long episode called Untucked, which is when at the very end, they do their runway, they go back, and then they do all of the deliberations and stuff. But we get to see them chatting backstage in their lounge and talking about their looks and getting into catty arguments and all that kind of stuff. I kind of want a 30-minute post-show Edge of Extinction 30-minute segment. Like, I want the hour of Survivor, and then
it's just 30 minutes of them sitting around the fire, just looking at each other.
Being silent.
I mean, it's taking up 15 minutes worth of the episodes at the moment. It's just chucking on an extra 5 minutes. Like, because, with ad breaks and all that kind of stuff. I'm down for all the content, but it's definitely taking away from the current game. You know, it's like we saw more of the Edge of Extinction than we did any of the tribes before the tribal the immunity challenge.
Yeah, but personally, I was so here for the Ethan Parvati moment where they were just
so good.
Like, my heart was warmed. I am here for that friendship more than anything in the entire world. I loved it. So I was like not mad.
And
but
that was
I
also,
definitely agree.
Yeah, that was also some of that real life talk that we got from Parvati, which was, but like, what did she say? She said, what is it when you like don't eat? Fast. Yeah, she's like, fasting's actually really good for your body. And then he keeps on talking and she's like, do you want to do some yoga?
Literally, Parvati is an angel.
I wrote in my notes, there's something really special about watching close friends have a deep conversation on Survivor. Like, we barely see that. And it's really special when we do. And I immediately thought of Adam and Jay from Millennials vs. Gen X when they had that really touching moment in the hammock when Adam like finally tells someone that his mom has cancer. And
I forgot about that.
Jay's crying, Adam's crying, I'm crying, America's crying.
Everyone's crying.
Yeah.
And I also think of the secret scene where Kim Spradlin goes to Sarah and she's crying about missing her children and just like wanting them to know that like their mom didn't leave them, for any reason.
Is that on the CBS website?
Yeah, I found it on Instagram.
I haven't seen that.
I'll send you a link to where to see it.
Yeah,
but like Dion, can you? This is random, but can you think of any other instances where we've seen these like close friendship relationships that we've seen on Survivor? Like it was really special.
The close friendships that I think of, like the one that stands out to me is JT and Steven in Token Teens. Like they were very much like they were working together the whole time. And yes, it was a lot of strategy talk, but they were brothers. They were
we
in
really
it together.
saw that bromance of them working together.
And the other pairing, which is going to be hilarious, but I still think it's like one of the funniest pairings that I've ever seen. I love the relationship between Kenny and Crystal. in Gabon. You've got this skinny
Kenny- That
little
was
gamer.
Yeah, the little nerd.
And then you've got this 6'3" Olympic
Perfect.
runner, African American woman, and they're just sitting there thinking that they're running the game. Like that for me is one of the most fun pairings because it is the oddest of odd couples.
Oh yeah.
And they were just so like about it, and then just throw Susie in there. Okay, now I'm getting really nostalgic. Then we've got Lydia and Rafe, Final Four
I
in
have no idea who
Guatemala.
you're talking about.
Yeah, me either.
You don't remember Lydia and Rafe?
I've never
Listen,
gone back
yeah.
to watch Guatemala. Never. I've never gone back to watch it. I've
Lydia
seen
is
it.
one of the best people. She got to Final 3 or Final 4, and she was this small little Hispanic woman with short hair, and she by the end of it got delirious and started yelling out like a baboon, and they were all like, "Who is Lydia? What is
Oh,
happening?"
I know who you're talking about. Yes.
Yeah.
Really short hair.
And then yes,
Yes.
and then Rafe was the guy that couldn't even climb back up the rope challenge and he was this skinny, scrawny. I don't know that it was ever spoken about, but gay man who just kind of was just dragged to the end because he was terrible at everything, but so charming and so delightful. But he was at the end with these 4 strong women. And so it was just such a crazy bunch of characters that made it to the end of that season, which I still think it's worth the rewatch.
Okay.
I love Guatemala.
That's
but,
when Danny
these are
won,
just-
right?
Yes. So
Okay.
these are the real life moments that I'm trying to those kinds of relationships. And then it's just kind of like you see a lot of buddies, but do you ever see the real life moments you're
Yeah.
saying there? So-
Yeah.
But for me, a lot of those moments happen a lot earlier on in Survivor than they do in recent seasons.
Yeah.
The game moves so
definitely.
fast now that I feel like there's so much strategy that we have to see to know why everything happens
Mhm.
that they don't have a lot of the same space and time that they used to have for just telling us people's background, and unless they have some really traumatic, horrible story that they have to share and whatever. But
Jeff
Mhm.
Probst loves a good traumatic story.
oh yeah, those are tribal council moments now. I feel is that they get a question
Mhm.
at tribal how is this affecting you and your mental sanity, and then
And then they
You
break
you go into
down.
a big long rant about
This is not America's
Whatever.
Next Top Model, where every confessional starts with, "I was divorced at 21. I was divorced at 21. Did you know I was divorced at 21? Oh my
I didn't
gosh,
know that
Lydia,
was an
you were
America's
divorced at
Next Top
21."
Model trope.
There was one
Apparently
girl,
it is.
18 or 19. Anyway, she was very young and she was divorced, but we learned, and she freaking won the season. So every single episode, we had to see this edit, and we were just like, no.
Oh,
so
we
I'm
get
just
it.
glad it's Survivor.
Well, that's how
doesn't
we're getting
throw
that
that
from
down our
Michelle.
throats.
Michelle, she needs to, she needs to prove herself. Oh, she needs to prove herself. Oh, she needs to prove herself.
We
Yeah.
did get it one too many times, I'll admit. But I'm here for it. I
But then
do
we
think
got
she needs
that,
to prove
like,
herself.
that winners edit music whenever they went to tribal. What can we talk
Okay.
about that
Okay,
soundtrack?
I gotta talk about Michelle. Okay. I'm here.
Are you gonna make me sad?
I am here. Here's my hold up. Here's my
She's
hang
gonna
up.
make us sad.
She's gonna make us sad.
I am here for Michelle winning. She can win.
Mhm.
She can prove herself. We are seeing her playing really, really good. I will say that. We saw her play each of the boys, believed her, we're confident in her. We see what she's doing. My one hang up is we are having this huge winners edit from her, and I do not like the huge winners edit. Tommy got the huge winners edit, and it was so obvious he was going to win. 5 episodes into last season, it was so obvious. And I was like, you know what? Maybe it won't be him. Maybe it'll be someone else. But you know what? It was Tommy. And I could put so much money on Michelle winning right now because I just think it's so obvious that she's going to win. And I don't like it when it's obvious. Okay, there's my rant.
That's fair. No,
That's
I
totally
like
fair.
so that's not even that's not even a bad on Michelle. That's a bad on editing.
yeah.
You know.
But I would love for Survivor editors to prove me wrong that she doesn't win because
I
of
think
the
there's
edit.
still a good amount of people that are getting decent enough edits that they could win.
Okay,
I do
so-
think that Michelle's is a lot better than most.
Oh yeah.
people's, though, so I
Speaking of
think
the
definitely.
epic music of her confessional and the
I need
music
to
of,
prove myself, and then
you're gonna get ready.
huh.
Who are the
it
other
was
people
awesome.
getting the
That was so good.
who else would you say is getting the winners in it? Sophie is getting a winners edit.
Oh God, yeah.
I'd say
Yeah.
Kim and Denise. I'd say those
Denise,
four.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those 4 very much in my eyes are getting a winner's edit.
And the only way we would get it from Adam or Wendell or Ben
Is a huge redemption arc
is
story.
they would have to have some type of redemption, because casual super fans are not enjoying them right now because of what
Yeah.
we've already talked about with them. So they need to have redemption in order to have any glimpse of winning, because we're getting a lot from them. It's just not pretty.
Yeah.
And
Can we
that
talk about the fact
leaves-
that Danny has literally been on our screen maybe once the entire season, and freaking Ryan Kaiser made me convinced me just with his Twitter post for me to put her on my fantasy team.
Yep.
And now my fantasy team is tanking. I only have 4 people instead of 5 because of stupid Ryan telling me
Yeah,
to jump
Ryan
on the
loves Danny.
bandwagon. Which was
I
such
did
a
think she was
waste
going to
for
do
me.
better than she did, so I can't.
Yeah,
be
me
I
rooting
didn't,
for
and
it.
I just blindly trusted him. Dumb.
You know how distance
God.
makes the heart grow fonder? Like if you don't see someone for a long time, you start you're thinking,
You're like,
oh,
my
they
God,
were
they're
they were so great, man. They were amazing, weren't they? And then
And
since
then
we
you
didn't see
forget
Danny
that-
for so long,
They are not.
the hype was
Yeah.
building up.
Well, then I do
like
have a
whatever-
question because we just mentioned most of the cast. The people that are kind of on the outs right now are people like Tony, Jeremy, Sarah, and Nick. They're kind of will they, won't they? We don't really know where they sit right now. They're not getting a bad edit. They're not getting a good edit. They're just
Nick's not getting an edit
Kind
at
of-
all. Nick
Nick.
just exists.
Nick's edit is weird.
I think that the last 2 episodes, he's gotten a pretty good edit in terms
because
of...
they've had tribal.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, yeah, but he's kind of coming across now as the last person to win this game, which means he has the most knowledge and experience with where the game is at now, which I think is really interesting because he's not the most exciting person in general when it comes
Right.
to the people in the cast, but he's possibly the most informed through his own experience. And we had the whole Tyson thing with him and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But he's the
That
kind
was
of person that I can see getting through just based on, we didn't even see him.
Do you think he has
But
a winning
he knows
chance?
what's happening.
Do you think that he might win?
No.
I don't necessarily think he could win, but I could see him in the final 5.
I could see him getting
Yeah.
far, just being dragged along as a GOAT at this point. I feel like he's the most
Which is
just-
how he won David versus Goliath. People
Yeah.
really
Right.
viewed him as that person getting dragged along, and he
Mhm.
was using that to his advantage to make.
Yeah.
And
his way to the end.
honestly, it's the people with the bigger targets on their back that are going home, and he's probably got the smallest target, so it makes sense for him to get the
yeah, which is
end.
funny because he starts with a big target because, he was one of the first people they wanted to vote out because of being the newest winner and because of having the least
Mhm.
amount of connections. But once he was
Yeah.
able to get through that first vote, he was good.
Yeah. And they keep on talking about how all the old school players are out. But then it just reminds me that people like Denise and Kim played and Sophie.
Mhm.
Sophie won season 22.
How
Yeah.
is that,
Rob won season 21.
this
These are
is
still
so long ago. Yeah.
right. So Sophie's still considered a new schooler. But then Rob won the season before her.
I know. and
Well,
he's
Rob's
considered
been
old.
playing for
Yeah.
30 fucking years. So
Right. But it's he does definitely have experience with the new school game.
yeah.
And then it's so for me, it's yes, we've got a lot of recent winners still in the game, but look, unless Natalie comes back, we're going to have an old schooler coming back into the game. And there's a good
yeah,
chance that Natalie does
Yeah.
come back into the
Yeah.
game. But so many people have been expressing how I'm losing faith in Winners at War. And I'm like, wait, what are you losing faith in? They're
People
making
don't-
the moves that are supposed to be being made right now.
Yeah,
Yul
iconic
was a
people.
huge
Yeah.
threat.
Yeah. Iconic people have been voted out. We've obviously all old schoolers voted out. But just remember how amazing the people are left.
Yeah,
They're-
we loved all of theirs. There's so many people's
Yeah.
seasons that are left that I loved their seasons. Obviously, of course I wanted Parvati or Tyson to win this
Yeah.
game. They're hands down.
Yeah.
That was my dream in my head. But I knew the odds of that happening are so slim.
The alternate universe, Boston Rob and Sandra. You're rooting for them.
Oh yeah, the Parv
anyway,
and Tyson.
Mhm.
But it's just it was so I don't know. I don't blame the new schoolers for voting him out. Like I think
No.
like it makes me sad that
No, I
it was
think
like
it's good
became an old school
strategy.
new school game, but I think that it was the best decision for all of them. Like they had so many connections to both old school and new school people. Like
I wonder
Tim
if at
had all
the
those
end of
connections and
I wonder if at the end of this, if we could go all the way back to Saleh vote when they turned on Danny Boatwright. I wonder if that really was like the move that screwed over
Sunk the ship.
Boston Rob, Parvati, Ethan. It was all because they turned on Danny. I wonder.
I think they screwed up by not reeling in Adam and Denise. I think it has less to do with voting out Danny, and I think it has more to do with solidifying the numbers because they had this false confidence that their smaller numbers had the power. I'm like, you don't have power if you don't have
And they
numbers.
put the
Yeah.
target on Adam and Denise. Remember when they were like,
Right.
you guys went off, so now you're the target. And so they already put them off. Boom.
Mm-hmm. But they got Denise and Adam to vote with them that first vote. It was the second vote that they didn't get them to vote
Yeah.
with them.
I want to bring up one of the big themes of Survivor the past couple episodes is playing Survivor with your ex. What do you guys
I was going to say pre-existing
relationships.
relationships.
So
they were just kicking it, guys. They were just kicking it.
Just kicking it. The way that like after the vote and Michelle turns around to Wendell and says, it's nice seeing you shaking in your boots.
Him grabbing his face or her grabbing his face ended me. I was like, Michelle, own that bitch. You do it. Oh, that was awesome.
So there's this tension obviously between them. And I was telling my friend Caitlin that I feel like Michelle has that thing, which I think you guys will understand, where there's someone that you like, okay? And you know you shouldn't like them. You know they're no good for you, but you can't help but like them.
I feel this so deeply in my core. Are you
understand?
Are you adding me right now?
I know. So you just know that they're no good for you. Well, Michelle knows that Wendell is not going to happen. It's not going to work because he burnt her already. And but the way that she was smiling and touching his face, and they're calling each other babe. They're stuck on an island together. She probably still has those feelings of like, the way she was.
No, do you guys know she's dating
clarify.
Pete? She's dating Pete from Philippines.
No, she's not.
No,
She's
Yes,
dating
she is.
really?
She's dating Pete from
Yurkowski.
Philippines.
What's his last name?
Wait.
Yes, Yurkowski.
Yurkowski.
I know because Michelle posted on her Instagram story date ideas for quarantine, and it was a picture of a guy holding up like a something in front of his face, and you could see, and it was like Pete. It was just Pete. And so then I went on Pete's story, and then I saw on Pete's story that he added Michelle's story in his story, and also was wearing in his latest Instagram photo the same beanie, the same eyes as was in Michelle's story. They're dating.
Wow.
What?
Wait.
Okay. So this is my thing
gosh.
because Pete was dating Abby Maria for the
Yeah, he was.
longest
I know.
time. And they had like this tumultuous relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And I know this because I actually go to the gym with somebody who used to work with him. And
No
we were
way.
talking about Survivor. She's like, oh yeah, I used to work with this guy from Survivor. And she's like, his name's Pete. I was like, oh my God, Pete from Philippines. She goes, I don't know. I was like, was he dating Abby Maria? She goes, oh my God, those two. And I was like, so for me, it's like, I mean, I've met Abby Maria. She's actually very lovely in person. I don't
She's
enjoy her on the
hysterical.
show. She
No,
gets
yeah.
such a crazy edit.
Yeah.
But then Pete is extremely attractive, and he was the hot guy from that season. I can go through every season of Survivor and tell you the hot guy from every season.
I love that.
He was
for
definitely
you.
the hot guy from Philippines. So,
need,
but you know what?
Dion, we
Pete
need you to
actually-
make a visual. You need to pick out the hot guy from every season,
A
create a
visual board.
graphic, and send it out.
Please
Okay,
make me-
perfect.
Post it on our Instagram.
Right. But in saying that, Pete definitely had some game moves. He was just with the wrong people. So maybe
Seriously.
he's finally getting with the right people in Michelle. So who knows?
Wow.
I
Maybe
love that for him.
So Sam,
Maybe.
that's what I was like when I figured out that Wendell and Michelle were dating, which I believe I figured it out when it was happening. And I just like never had the confirmation until this season that it was happening. So well done, Sam. Well done.
Thank you. I'm very proud of myself for that. It was actually one of my org friends was the one that was like, yo, isn't that Pete? And then I was like, super sleuth attack. And then I like found it out. It was great.
All right, well, let's jump
Love it.
into the challenge.
Oh yeah, we skipped over the
Yes.
challenge, didn't we? Besides the trash talking.
At the end.
props to the people for Yara for
only going once. Hell yeah.
Oh, that was intense. I mean, I was just saying while it was happening, I was like, if this doesn't turn out like they wanted to, this is going to be awful.
Risky move. Here's why it's a risky move. If you go once and it doesn't work and you took all of that time, you've got to run back and do it all over again. The other tribes, they know we're going to do it twice. We're going to get it done fast. We're going to get these pieces. And so Yara really, like, knowing where the other tribes were, they didn't let the other tribes spook them. But it's definitely like a which
Huge
way is
move.
it going to go?
Also, the thing is, too, like, you'd think Nick is out here. I feel like he's the only one that's had repeat challenges this season.
I know, he really
Yeah,
has.
And
and I'm like,
Wendell.
Nick,
Wendell has,
dude,
Yeah.
like, you've done this before. And I mean, they didn't even make it to the puzzle last time. Like, literally
no.
fell to pieces.
They gave up. Yeah.
Yeah, because, like, they couldn't carry it because they voted up all the people that were strong.
They had Angelina, Mike White, and Nick.
Oh my, that was so funny. But no, so I'm just like, Nick, you've done this before, dude. Like, you should know how to do this challenge better. Like, you should have learned from
Wait. Did the three of them do this challenge on the same tribe?
No, who I just said, Angelina,
Yeah.
Mike White, Nick, and
who's the fourth
well,
one?
I don't remember who the fourth one is. But I only
But they
remember.
made it to the final three.
Yeah, that's
Crazy. Was
Nick,
that a reward challenge in the merge portion of the game, or was it an immunity challenge?
No, they
in
were
tribe?
on
No,
a-
it was immunity. It was
they were on a
100%
little
immunity.
tribe together, and that's where they formulated their
And
final.
they
three.
made the final three.
Yeah.
I didn't even make that association. That's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wow.
Maybe he can still win.
So I just moved houses recently, and one of my biggest pet peeves is when I was moving furniture with, it doesn't matter who it was, but a couple people in particular are really bad at communication. And
God.
you're holding a heavy object together, okay? I mean, you need to go through a doorway, you need to go upstairs. And you know what the key is? The key is communication, you know. All right, we're
Pivot,
going to go
pivot,
this
pivot.
way, or I'm going to live it up. Yeah, pivot. I don't even watch Friends, and I know that. But, you know, the Yara tribe did a really good job at communicating to not spill
Mhm.
any of their water.
Yeah.
And it irked me every time. Like, I think it was DeCall in particular. They were like, I think we saw glimpses of them when they would go over an obstacle or they were getting up on the beams, and they weren't like telling each other like, okay, you go.
Well, you did hear
Yeah.
Kim say, okay, I'm up against the beam right now.
Yeah, like this isn't working. So like, oh
Right.
man, the pet peeve of just like,
Yeah.
you need to tell people when you're going to
Yeah.
move.
They just
So
like
that's-
sloshed water out of that thing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like what was it? Yara's the one that did the
slow.
one. Yeah, they
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
barely ever lost. And I mean, obviously that's the whole point. But like, they just constantly talked and like there was never any huge sloshes of water that came out of there. The other tribes like
Mhm.
on multiple occasions just lost like half.
Oh, and
the-
when
Right.
Selay tribe is dumping their water the first time, this still like haunts me that like so much
The
water was
water
not going
aside.
into the bucket, and
No.
Wendell
Yeah.
is like he's running around. I'm like,
Wringing
oh,
his
he's gonna
He's gonna
like
fix it, and he brings out his shirt. Dude,
I know.
come on.
I know. So like they could have
Oh, that would
communicated.
hurt. That
and
would
been like,
hurt.
They could have communicated.
No,
and
but
said,
Sam,
okay,
Sam,
guys,
that was
let's pour it
strategic.
slowly.
That was to make sure that he didn't lose
Dion?
the challenge at the end.
Shut up.
Probes,
Phil's
check
gonna
this
get
out,
his
Probes. I'm
redemption
gonna bring
arc.
out my shirt. Jeff, check this out. I need your attention. Look how cool I
You got my
am.
shirt,
Oh.
Probst.
Oh gosh. Well, okay, so we see the challenge. We see Yara win by like a landslide, and then
yeah.
we see the moment that we talked about earlier. Dekal wins by a second. We have
Yeah.
Jeremy and Denise on the puzzle. Great pairing, I think.
Oh yeah.
We have Wendell and Michelle on the puzzle. Is that a great pairing?
Babe, give me
We
that
have
piece,
seen
babe.
Nick on the puzzle.
Yeah,
Right.
literally.
Like I just don't know that relation. Sometimes it's better to work with somebody that you don't have too much of a relationship with, because if you both have a common goal and you have less to muddy it, sometimes it's better.
Oh yeah, they have a
But-
lot to muddy it. That's for sure.
Right. So I wonder if they put the right people up. I'm surprised Yul wasn't on the puzzle. I think he would have been great to have in there.
I know, and Nick is good at puzzles too. I think that Nick, like he did his first season, he's just trying to hide his puzzle strength.
Right. So there you go. I think that I was disappointed that Saleh was going. I would have rather have seen Dekal or even
Oh my
Yara.
wanna
Because
do
I
that.
would love to have seen
I
Tony
wanted to see
go.
Yara go.
And well, the thing is, it's funny because we actually put up some questions on our Instagram.
Oh, we did.
And one of the the questions was, which tribe is going to lose the immunity challenge? We had one for Yara, we had one for Dekal, we said, Greg said, none of them, nobody can go home. And
Nice, Greg.
we had another one saying, it's a lose-lose situation if everybody goes, but hopefully Dekal goes so they can vote out Tony. So
Yeah,
I thought
the
that was a very
easiest vote.
interesting.
That was the easiest vote on any tribe, I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
I would have actually. I thought it was Decal. I would have loved to see Yara go because I'm very curious who would have went, Ben or Adam.
I think it would have been Adam. I don't think there's a question about it because Ben is so chummy with them. However, I was thinking about this today. Sarah was actually quite chummy with Tyson and she still voted him out.
Yeah.
So
That's
she's
Sarah's
not-
move, though. That's what she does. She gets real chummy and then
Yeah.
slits your throat.
Yeah,
I
out of here.
relate to that on a spiritual level.
Oh.
Okay, so is there anything you guys want to say about the strategy or tribal council? I want to talk, when we end, I want to talk about what we think about this merge. Anything else you guys want to hit on?
Well, did we talk about whether if they made the right choice of who to vote out?
I think, we talked about how Yule dug his own grave.
I don't think he necessarily dug his own grave. I think he was playing the right game. I think it was just not with the right
wrong
people. Because I think that Sarah and Sophie would have been all
Or his
about
bread
it.
and butter. Oh yeah, they would have been
You
so
know.
for that strategy.
Whereas Nick and Michelle get scared of what he's
Intimidated.
doing. And Nick literally said, I don't want Yule calling the shots anymore.
Well, here's the problem. Nick doesn't have anybody else to play with. He screwed over, like, who was his core people? He was working with Sophie, but Sophie's not going to work with him without Yule.
Yeah.
You know, he's got Wendell, but is
Yule
Wendell
was the
reliable?
glue that held that whole five together.
Mhm.
Right.
100%.
Mhm.
So
And
for
now
me,
that's-
I'm not sure that Nick made the best choice. I think Michelle made the best choice.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Michelle, we've seen it that Michelle's the one who is kind of has just won over Nick. Nick wants
Because
to work with-
now,
Mhm.
right, because Michelle's going to go back to Jeremy. You know, is she
Mhm.
going to bring in Nick? Is that an option there? Like, I feel like out of all the people in the game, who doesn't have anybody to work with? I think
Adam.
Adam doesn't have anyone to work with.
Oh,
But is
he's
that
trying
going
so
to make
hard.
him? But is that going to make him an easy first target?
Right.
Or is that just going to mean that he's going to be able to get through because nobody's
Exactly.
worried about him?
So my question about going into the merge is, what alliances do you think we're going to see forming? But it's hard to know who's going to come in from the edge.
Well, let's
Honestly,
think about.
I think it's going to be a scramble. I think it's going to be a complete scramble.
Uh-huh.
Like it was at the very beginning of the season where everyone was like, what do we do? And there were like 3 different names at like every
Yeah.
one of the first tribal councils. I think
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen at Merge for at least 1 or 2 votes. People are just
Well,
going to be
we
like,
saw
"Oh, I don't
that.
know."
We saw that in the footage of next week on Survivor. We saw everybody
Yeah.
dropping names. We saw
Yeah.
Sophie's name come up. We saw Nick's name come up. We saw
Wendell.
Wendell's name
We
come up.
see Adam.
And we saw Adam. Okay, so yeah, because Michelle's like, well, let's get rid of Adam.
Yeah.
So clearly they're not getting Adam in with them then. But the thing is, we also have to take into consideration that one person's coming back from the edge.
Yeah.
I know.
And who are they going to have beef with? And are they going to have immunity their first week?
Ooh, or an idol.
Because
Oh.
because
Maybe that's how they
I have
do
a feeling
Mhm.
that did they last Edge of Extinction?
They
did
gave them
get
half an
to-
idol, and they had to give a partner another half of an idol.
They've already done that. They're not going to do it
Yeah, they've
again.
already done it earlier this season.
For some reason, I just had it in my head that it was only valid for like one tribal, and it was like the first tribal, and so they can't get voted out or something along those lines. But maybe that wasn't the case.
Mm-mm.
Oh.
Okay, so if there is an alliance, okay, let's talk about the Michelle. All right, Michelle's going to be
Mhm.
with Jeremy. She also has Nick.
Correct.
She has
And
Wendell. So that's 4.
Jeremy has Denise.
Denise and Kim, probably.
Well, but Sophie
Mhm.
has Kim, and
I don't
and
think so.
Sarah.
I don't think so. I don't think that
Even with
Sophie
the
has-
idol.
I don't think Kim wants to work with Sophie. I think it was Kim's last ditch effort to make
Mm-hmm.
it so that she wasn't completely screwed over, so that Sophie would keep her over the other like poker people alliance. I
Ooh,
think Kim
Interesting.
literally only did it gave the idol to Sophie as like a
But
branch,
she
as like
said,
a, hey,
"I've
trust
always
me."
wanted to work with Sophie. She's somebody that I want to go
Yeah.
in this game."
And we heard Kim say how close she is with Tony. Tony's going to work with Sarah and Sophie. I think we're going to see Kim in that position of choosing her options. She's choosing who she's
Love
going
a
to go
queen
with.
options.
Wow. Who do you think she should choose?
I think that people might vote out Ben.
You think?
He doesn't. Who's he
He's
working
not
with?
super strong.
But he's not
strong
threatening.
by-
Besides his
Yes, he is.
Uh,
As in immunity challenges, he's
Immunity
probably
and
one of the
idols,
most
he's threatening.
people.
but his personality would not be threatening more than Tony. I think I think that the Jeremy, Michelle, Wendell, they're gonna go for Tony, I think. Okay. And then but who's the other side going for?
So here's the thing. It's like, are they going to try to
Yeah.
break up people, or are they going to try to take out people who are in the middle? Because
Yeah.
we know that those middle people can make their way to the end, and
Yeah.
they're not
Yeah.
like oblivious to that because
That's
half
like
of them did
we
it.
saw Wendell saying Sophie is playing. Like he's aware of it. He's aware that she's
Yeah.
doing the under the radar thing. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm so
I
excited.
don't know.
It's gonna
Me
be a
too.
mess.
Well,
This first episode is going to be a hot mess.
I love it.
we're going to see
Love a
one
hot
person
mess.
coming back. We're going to see 12 people still in the game, and
And we're going to see, I'm just like so sad for the people that are still going to be on the edge. I was really hoping we would see 2 people come back so that edge could be over and people can go to the jury villa. But
Yeah.
I don't want to see Ethan suffering more. I want
It
him,
literally breaks my heart. Who do you guys think's going to come back?
Natalie. It's got to be Natalie.
Really?
Yeah, I'm putting my money on Natalie.
I think that Rob has a good chance.
Ooh.
I think it's going to be Tyson.
Oh, man. I would
Interesting.
love a Tyson
Hey,
comeback.
I actually thought about what if they just voted out Yule and then he just comes straight back in.
That'd
and
be
then goes
incredible.
That works
Oh,
out.
and then
Mhm.
that would be great because he can go straight to Sarah and Sophie and be like,
Yeah.
hey, I gave you guys tokens. Let's
Yeah.
work together. And then he'd be in the majority. Like that, he'd be in the majority and he can get rid of
Because
the
they're not
people
going to
that
vote
he's
him
got
out. Yeah. Are you kidding me? They love him.
Whenever we've seen that whole situation of the revolving door, if someone gets voted out and comes right back in, it usually works out the best for them rather than the person who's been out for a long time. It's really hard for them to
Yeah.
jump back
Yeah.
in.
It's going to be, if Nat comes back in, I think she's going to have, I think she'll have connections. Like, obviously, she'll work with Jeremy and
Yeah,
everyone. But, like,
thankfully.
I still think it's going to be an uphill battle for anyone unless it's Yule.
Look, guys, I think that we're missing the complete obvious option, and that
What?
is that Danny's going to come back into the game.
Clearly. Clearly.
She
You're
probably
right.
will win.
The whole
Um,
game.
The most under the radar winner we've ever had.
Oh my God. I would throw up.
What if she Chris Underwoods it?
There's
at Final Five
Yeah.
and just does
Literally-
everything she needs to do.
no way that
No.
could physically
No.
ever happen.
I didn't really
Honestly,
share.
I was just going to say I would be happy to see anybody from the Edge come back because I'm just intrigued to see what they would do.
Yeah. I didn't really share what my drop your buff moment is. And I didn't really write one down. So
Oh.
sorry about that, everybody. I don't remember when my jaw dropped this episode. I think
Oh.
that my drop your buff moment will always be Tyson being sarcastic and funny when he said, I found it because I'm
Because
amazing.
I'm amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
Tyson is the best.
Love
Oh
him.
gosh. Did you have a drop your buff moment, Sam? Anything that stood out to you?
I think mine was just the Yara making the one run at the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
That was
Truly.
awesome. Like
Truly.
they took a huge
We-
risk and it paid off. That was my drop your buff moment for sure.
I will say that physically when their flag went up, my jaw did drop. I was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
They did
they
it.
did
it."
They did it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So they've broken that challenge. Not broken it as in like, you know how the reward challenge, the auction, Survivor auction is broken and they won't do that again because everybody's going to hold on to their money until there's an
they get to
advantage. But they have shown when that challenge happens again, everybody's going to be going slow for sure.
Yeah.
I love the team
All
building
right.
challenges.
Is there anything else before next week's incredible merge /
I'm so excited
returnee
for
from
you guys.
Edge of Extinction episode? What was that?
I said I'm so excited for you guys. I can't wait for this next episode. It's gonna be so good.
Do you think that Greg would do as great of a job as you did being a guest?
I
Or do you
mean,
think you
no.
did better?
Because this is me. This is me. Okay.
And you were
I'm
amazing.
I'm amazing.
Thank you so much for coming on today,
Oh my
last
God, it
minute, to talk Survivor.
biggest blast.
This was
Thank-
incredible. We
I-
loved your input. Definitely, it's refreshing to have someone who we didn't play with, first of all, but
Yeah.
second, like somebody who's playing in orgs and doing their own thing and having their own experiences.
And the
Like, it's
female
just- it's-
version of Tyson.
right. Always,
You could
always
physically
appreciate it.
not give me a better compliment. I am going to quote that and hang it on my wall. Thank you.
Put in your
so
Instagram
funny.
profile the female version of Tyson Apostle.
Yeah, literally that.
There you go.
But no, this was a blast. Thank you so much for having me. I had a
Yeah, we wish you the best in your
course.
online game, and we hope you win out of the
Yes.
100 people playing.
Honestly, that would
Oh
be
my goodness.
freaking ridiculous. So we'll keep our fingers crossed.
All right,
Crossing
well,
all the fingers.
well, we hope that everybody is staying safe, staying home, and staying
Yeah.
healthy, and hope to see you on the other side of this quarantine life.
Oh,
Yes.
just quickly. I'm now vicariously living through a video game called Animal Crossing.
Yes,
Oh
you
I'm
my
are.
pretty
God.
sure I'm gonna set up my island to recreate tribal council. I did that in a like Facebook game like 10 years ago. I have screenshots of like
Wow.
my tiki torches, all of the seats where Jeff would stand, and I'm pretty
Uh-huh.
sure I'm gonna do the same thing in my Animal Crossing
I'm really
game
happy
if
for
it gets to it. Thank
That's-
you, thank you.
that's
I'll invite
wow.
you to my island, and you can come and
I
sit.
don't have
on-
Animal
on-
Crossing, but like you can take some screenshots and send them to me.
Follow
Cool.
Dion. He'll probably post it on Instagram. Dion's at Dion Alexander.
Yes.
I'm at Hannah Gilead. Sam, do you want to drop your
Oh
handle?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
My handle is samlek234.
Wow. Lek
I
is
think that's it.
Lech, right?
Yeah, I think
Look at
that's
that.
it.
Sam
Maybe.
Lek.
If
Okay.
it's not, then you won't find me.
Well, if
Okay.
you search Sam Lechner, your odds are probably
Pretty
going to
high.
be pretty high. Yeah.
Yep, that'll do it.
I was gonna say, and probably if you look at like one of our accounts or even the Drop Your Buffs account, will probably be associated if you like look up
Oh yeah.
Sam's name.
Oh yeah,
You know.
that's true.
It's a good follow. She's fun. There's a lot of dog pictures. She'll
Yeah,
talk,
my
she talks Survivor.
roommate's
Yes.
dog's in there a lot.
Good
I
time.
dye my hair. It's fun. We have
Yeah.
fun.
Besides that, I've got nothing for you guys.
Ah,
All right.
it's been
Oh.
fun.
Yep. See you guys all next time. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody, drop your buffs. Drop your buffs. Everybody, drop your buffs.
Drop your buffs.
Everybody, drop your buffs.